new here, I'm Vamp. Nice to meet you. See those links over here? They're good things to go through. They're my Twitch, which we're streaming live on now. They are our YouTube channel. Yeah, that's right. This gets posted up after it's done, re-uploaded to YouTube. Kind of cool stuff. And the Twitter that lets you know when stuff's going to be posted up. And we're going to turn down that music so that hopefully we don't get copy striked again and again and again and again and again and again and again on YouTube every time we try and upload one of these things, because it's Pretzel Rocks. It should be open source. It should be allowed for anyone to use. Speaking of YouTube, though, I need to take a moment for you guys before we start up this stream, because we've been a very family-friendly stream. You could let your kids watch me. Because of recent changes to YouTube's algorithm, fuck YouTube, fuck COPA. That's right, we're saying fuck on the channel now because of the goddamn COPA law. So fuck COPA, fuck YouTube. Shame on you, YouTube. Shame on you.
Shame. Shame.
Oh, but it's the creator's responsibility. No, it fucking isn't. Alright? If it's the creator's responsibility, then every single goddamn kid under the age of 18 that plays Grand Theft Auto should be able to sue Rockstar for their children. Oh, think of the children. Won't you think of the children?
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
Every single kid that's played it under the age of 18, their parents should be able to sue Rockstar for them creating the content that's too adult. It's rated 18. This stream, yeah, we're talking about toys. We're talking about toys for adult collectors. Like this guy, a 30-year-old who still really likes Marvel, you know, just like everybody fucking else on the planet. Because it's, you know, the most amazing thing that has the highest grossing movie ever. So it might be attractive to children, but guess what? For those kiddos out there, don't come to my channel. There. Are you happy, YouTube? Now you can't get a COPA complaint. Now that my rant's over, though, hey guys, welcome to the channel. So, today is going to be a really short stream today. I apologize. I only have 2 unboxings, one main one and one bonus one. So, there's going to be really nothing here. It's just 2 unboxings happening today. Just 2. I promise. But, as I said in my Twitter and in the intro to this video, it's even the title that you clicked on to get here, we're going to be doing the Alpha Flight box set. This is an exclusive Amazon box set. You can only get it through Amazon. It costs a pretty penny, and I kind of don't want to tell you guys how much I spent on it because it was a lot of money. But this one box set completes an entire team. The reason why I'm wearing a more general Marvel shirt today is this is actually the only shirt I could find that has any Alpha Flight members in it, and they're kind of hidden away. I know on the shirt, hidden away on here are both Sasquatch and Vindicator. Or no, not Vindicator, Guardian. My apologies. I think they're kind of hidden up at the top here. Yeah, actually, they're right here. Right here. You can't even see them because of my vest. Literally the only shirt I have with the characters on it. But if you've been watching the 90s series of X-Men on Disney Plus, God knows I have, because I love that series, you've probably seen these characters recently, depending on how far you are into the series. So, enough of me talking about it, let's get into it. Here we are. This is our unboxing today. That's it. Alright, everybody go home now. I'm actually going to even take off my hand cam for a moment here. That's it. That's the unboxing. Nothing to see here, folks. Be on your way. Oh, there's stuff inside of it. Oh, well, that makes sense. So, inside of our special case here from Amazon, of course I showed it to you guys back first, because, you know, I'm a goddamn idiot. We have our Alpha Flight box set. Ooh. Like I told you guys, it's only one main unboxing today. Of 6 figures. Slightly misleading, I suppose, but it is technically only one unboxing. I'm only opening one box. So, we've seen the box, but let's do as we normally do and kind of get into what we see here. So, our front of our box is this cool comic book panel of all 6 of the characters on the inside. We have all 6 names with little art for each of them individually here on the side. On the back, it shows these 6 figures included in today's unboxing. Same thing on the other side. On the inside cover here tells us the names of all of our characters, along with where they're from in Canada. And of course, we have our window pane here that shows who these 6 figures are for today. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, we'll get our special box opening tool. Kind of try and pry the top of this open. And I will lay this out in front of you as best as I can. Yeah, I kind of figured that was going to be the case. The box set is so big it doesn't fit in my hand cam display. Oof. But that is all right, ladies and gentlemen. That is A-okay after all. You're here for this journey, and so am I. So, I'm sorry, I'm taking a moment because I am super happy this box set came out. I am a big fan of Alpha Flight. I'm a huge fan of them. I actually have the original figures they did of most of these characters put out back by ToyBiz back in the day. They don't have great articulation, but they're the only versions of North Star, Aurora, Puck, Vindicator, and Snowbird that I had for the longest time. It was also the only way that I had Sasquatch for the longest time. But then he became a build-to-figure a few waves ago for Deadpool. Just like how they released 2 Marvel Legends of Guardian. But actually, Guardian's the only figure that we've gotten from Alpha Flight as a single pack. And we've gotten him twice. Once in the Walmart exclusive Ares wave. And once, just recently, actually, in the Wendigo Build-to-Figure wave. Slight spoiler for what's coming up. Obviously, we're going to assemble the team and show you guys what they all look like, all 8 of them together. Because it's just... I'm excited. So, we're going to start off, I guess we're just going to go top down. I know who I'm going to do last. It's the little guy. It's going to be Puck. Because Puck was a build-to-figure. He was his own build-to-figure. This is technically just a remold of that build-to-figure that we're receiving in this box set. However, that build-to-figure was stupid hard to find and really, really expensive. Ridiculously expensive in the aftermarket, so I'm really happy to have him. He's actually the whole reason why I got the previous sets of figures for all of them. Because I wanted Puck and I just couldn't get him any other way. So, we will take out our figures here. We've already taken out Aurora. Or we're going to take out Shaman next, or Shaman, depending on how you want to pronounce it. It's Shaman. Let's be clear here. It's Shaman, not Shaman, but pronounce it how you will. We're going to take him out next. Now, this is the first Shaman figure we've gotten, I believe, ever. Not even in that 5-inch line that I was talking about before, where we got all the others, did we get Shaman. So, I'm really happy about that. Actually, those 5-inch figures have stood in for my collection of Alpha Flight figures for years. And of course, Snowbird has a couple of rubber bands making her arms be anchored in to the box set. Just making her harder for me to get out. Because why not? Now, if you guys were to get this set, note that Snowbird is, as I said before, rubber banded in, and her cape makes it a little bit hard for her to remove from the packaging. She seems to be the only one with that problem, though. As everyone else just kind of sets in there. The longest part of this today has been unpacking everything. And since we usually go over it before we get into the figures, our background is snow. Makes sense. They're a Canadian superhero team. There's a lot of snow in Canada. It's fucking cold. Now that we've gotten everyone out, which was our first task, our second task is actually going into the figures themselves and seeing just what we've got on our hands here today. Now that I've made a little bit of room for myself on my desk, let's get into it. For our neck articulation, Aurora can look down actually really well. Surprisingly well. And of course, with her head of hair here, that's as much as she can look up. It's pretty much just standard looking forward. I will note the sculpt's a little bit interesting here. She's got these pointy ears. Just a little bit different. For her shoulder articulation. Better than a T-pose? I'll take it. I'll take better than a T. Now, I'm going to just do this en masse right now for all of our female figures for the day. None of them have double jointed elbows. None of them have ab crunches. None of them have bicep cuts. All around. None of them have boot cuts. None of them have waist cuts. They're completely gimped on articulation. Yeah. All the female figures today completely gimped on articulation. Hasbro, stop it. Fucking cut it out, okay? Give us better articulated females. You'll sell them better if they're better articulated. I promise. For our elbow articulation, I already told you guys it's only single jointed, so if it's not going to be locked up on me, which, yeah, that's good and locked. Fun. Took me some doing to get the other one unlocked. A little bit better than 90 degrees. Not a lot, but a little bit. It's not great, but it's something. She has our standard wrist cuts, the in and out, not the up and down sword cuts. I think that's going to be the same for, yeah, all of the figures today. At least in this set. Not sure about our bonus figures at the end, but for this set, yeah, they're just the standard in and out wrist articulation, not the up and down sword articulation. For her ab swivel, we've got a slight bit of side to side here. That's as far forward as she's going, and that's as far back. That's it. You're looking at it, and it's not anything to write home about. For our hip articulation, actually, it's not bad. She's got a good deal of hip articulation on her. It's better than I expected, I'll be honest. We, of course, have the thigh cuts here. The double-jointed knees, which can go a decent way back, but not all the way back. She's got a little bit too much muscle here in the calf to go all the way back, so it is what it is. We, of course, have the rocker ankles, which can go a painful degree in and a disturbing degree out. It can actually go a great deal forward as well. That's really a nice change. And she can go all the way on point. Well, just about. Not quite. A little bit of her heel is catching on the back of her ankle. Otherwise, she could go all the way on point. All in all, Aurora's a decent figure. I was checking for something, and I'm a little bit disappointed. Why no post in the back? Why no post for a flight stand in the back? Come on now. Come on. Come on, Hasbro. I know our New Mutants have that, and none of them even fly. But to get a 6-inch version of Aurora, she's decent. Since we did Aurora, let's do her brother next. Let's take care of North Star. Now, I can already tell you guys, when I was unboxing him, I'm liking what they did with North Star. That's because they put him on the Sunfire body. I could tell when unboxing him because he has the butterfly shoulders here. Which, honestly, give me butterfly shoulders on everybody. I will never tell you to give me less articulation. Hasbro, if you're listening, I will never tell you to give me less articulation. More is better. Please. Getting into the rest of his articulation, though, aside from these butterfly shoulders, which can, of course, go in and out like so. Let's get into the rest of him. He's got the same pointy ears as his sister, which is kind of a unique thing to notice there. He can look down a decent degree. I don't think he can look down quite as well as Aurora can. And North Star can look up decently well. I'm not going to say he looks up incredibly well, but decently well. For our shoulder articulation. Aside from butterflies, which are their own unique thing, he's getting weird angles here. Getting a little bit better than a T-pose out of his left arm and just about a T-pose out of his right. Might be just an angle they're at right now. Might be something I can fix when actually posing him, but it's okay. It's not great. He, of course, has the bicep swivels, the double-jointed elbows, North Star, my man, you came so close. You came so close, but is that good flex? No. No, ladies and gentlemen, that is not that good flex we're looking for. So close. He does, again, have the standard in and out wrist cut, as seen there. He, of course, has an ab crunch, which can go a decent way forward and an alright level back. Fellas, he's not bending over backwards for you, but he's doing his damnedest. He, of course, has the hip cut there. Or the waist cut for his hips. We're getting alright levels out of here. It's not great. I honestly feel like they did something here. I swear that the Sunfire body was actually a lot better articulated than this. It had more range of movement, but maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. For our thighs, of course, we've got the thigh cut. We've got the double jointed knees, which can go back actually further than his sister. And he's got more calf muscle on him, so take that as you will. He does indeed have boot cuts on him. For our rocker ankles, they can go a disturbing degree in, a painful degree out. Only a little bit forward, but can go all the way on point back. All in all, I'm happy with what they did with North Star here. I'm actually really happy. It's a really good North Star figure. I'm really excited about that. He makes up for some of the deficiencies that his sister has, and they look great together. I'm really happy with how this figure came out. Aurora, she could have been better. North Star, he's great. Who to do next? Well, let's keep up our pattern we've got going here. We'll go with Vindicator. Now, again, Vindicator seems to be based off that same female body that they're giving to just absolutely everybody these days. Hasbro. We need to have a talk, Hasbro. You've had other female bodies. We've seen it. I know it. They've been different in the past. Why have you gone down to the one? Bring back anything. Or just make a new one. A new one would be cool. A new one would be real cool. Instead of this one horribly gimped version of a female. It's just not alright, man. It's just not okay. Just work on it a little bit. Just a little. It'll make your figures a lot better, I promise. Make your sales better, too. Because I know that's what you guys care about, is the sales. So, for our head articulation. We are gonna move. Vindicator can look down amazingly well. Like, incredibly well. That's amazing. And she can look straight up. The bulge joint sits a little bit weird here with her. I'm not gonna lie. It sits kind of weird on the head. But she has great range of movement because of it. And that's really cool. And her ponytail doesn't get in the way, like, at all. Not only does it not get in the way, ladies and gentlemen, do not be alarmed. Do not panic. Do not panic. I said don't panic. I said don't panic. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an articulated ponytail. So that you can get it out of the way while making her do these awesome flying poses and pose it on the correct side when you're doing toy photography, which, let's be honest here, that's mostly what I do with my figures, is just photography. I put them in cool poses. If you haven't seen from the YouTube channel that was just, you know, up here being advertised, the thumbnails are usually me doing really cool poses. I've been told I should open up an Instagram. Look. Maybe. But let's give it some time with this first. Maybe we'll do an Instagram later. Anyway. For our shoulder articulation, Vindicator, my girl, you got to do something better than that. You got to be kidding me. There we go. We're getting a T-pose. Is it great? No. Is it at least a T-pose? Yeah. For our single-jointed elbows, 90 degrees. That's it. That's all we're getting. That's all you can hope for. 90 degrees. We also have our standard in and out wrist articulation here, which works just fine for the character. I mean, I'm going to have her reeling back to punch someone anyway, because that's what she does. She's strong and she flies. So yeah, she's going to be flying into a punch. Probably with her left hand out like this, squaring you up, so that she can have the right hand back to give you a wallop. For her ab swivel, we've got a little bit of back and forth, a pitiful degree forward, and you know what? She can actually go a little bit back. Not a lot, but a little. Would it be better with an ab crunch in there as well? Well, yeah, we saw from the Beast figure they did this year, they can do both an ab crunch and ab swivel at the same time and make it look really, really good. However, that's something that, like has been said today, you need to do new molds for that, which do cost money, but you can make more money by doing it. Cost-benefit analysis and all that. For our hip articulation, that's it. That's all we're getting. That's abysmal. We do have the thigh cuts here. The double-jointed knees, which can go, yeah, pretty much all the way back. That's actually really, really good. No boot cuts here, but we do have the rocker ankles that go a disturbing degree in. Ooh, a painful degree out. Are we going to be locked up, or are we actually going to cooperate? They go a hair forward, not too much. But she can go pretty much all the way back on point. All in all, it's a new Vindicator. I can't really complain. I like the fact that we got a Vindicator figure. Could she use some definite improvements? Well, yeah. All of Hasbro's female molds could use improvements. Not just in this wave. We've seen you guys do double-jointed elbows in your Black series, but not even all of those have them. I love you guys, Hasbro, but you gotta do something about this. For our next figure, we'll go a little bit more mystical with a figure of a character that I'm actually very excited to have in my hands. Even if he is based off an old mold that we've seen 1,000 times already. Yeah, it's the Bucky Cat mold. We know it. But it's Shaman. Why does that excuse it? Shaman is a member of the First Nation, one of the many tribes of Native American people up in Canada. We don't have a lot of representation pretty much anywhere in Marvel. We've gotten now, I think, 3, maybe 4 figures of Native American characters. No, we've gotten 3. Technically, we've gotten 4, but we're about to get a redo of that 4th one. So, I'm really happy that we've got him. It's good representation. It makes me feel included, like I'm actually a part of Marvel, because natives don't get a lot of that. So, enough of talking about me and my weird background. Let's get into our articulation on him. For our neck articulation, wow, he can actually look down incredibly well. A lot better than North Star could. But looking back, That mane of hair is stopping him from looking up too much. He is able to look up slightly. It's better than Aurora, looking just pretty much straight forward. But it's not a lot. For our shoulder articulation... Ooh! That's it. It's a T-pose. All we're getting out of him is a T-pose, ladies and gents, and that's... Ooh. That kind of hurts. We do, of course, have the bicep swivels here. The double-jointed elbows. I think that's going to be as close to that good flex as we're getting today. Because our other two figures are single-jointed elbows. Unless we've got something better in our bonus figures, that's the closest we're going to get to having that good flex today. As a note, the gauntlets here are just kind of held down by friction. They're not molded on. You can freely spin them, but I don't know why you'd be replacing his hands. Actually, I could kind of see replacing his hands with some of the hands given to us by the Iron Fist character. The white version of Iron Fist. The all-white outfit from... Ooh, the Odin Wave. That's a very long time ago. The King Thor Odin Wave had a bunch of different hands. And I know Shang-Chi's coming with a bunch of hands, so might replace his hands with some of those, depending. Speaking of his hands, he has the standard in and out wrist articulation, but because of the gauntlet here, that's as far in as the wrist is going. It's nerfed a little bit in articulation by the gauntlets. He, of course, has the ab crunch, even if he's a little bit loose here for us, where he can bend over, wow, an amazing degree, but can only bend backwards so much. Ladies, I can't say he's bending over backwards for you, but he's trying his damnedest. He, of course, has a waist cut, which is fairly cleverly hidden by his sash and satchel here. Well done there, Hasbro. We've got his hip articulation. Probably the best hip articulation we've seen today is from Shaman. I have no words. I have no words, Hasbro. I have no words. We, of course, have our thigh cuts, as has become standard. The double-jointed knees, which can go back a great degree. I thought the tops of the boots here were going to be stopping the articulation, but it's actually just how meaty his calves and thighs are. So, it's alright. It's okay. Speaking of, he does have boot cuts. So there's that for you. For his rocker ankles, they can, of course, go a pretty great degree in. There is a little bit of flash here on the mold to make it look like there's wrinkles on his boots. If you can see there. And that kind of prevents the rocker ankles from going too far either way. Although that is a pretty painful degree out. That's the kind of thing you go to the hospital for. Which, seeing as how they're from Canada, means they won't be paying anything for that. He can go a little bit forward with his foot and can go, actually, all the way back on point. That's fairly impressive. All in all, I'm happy to have a Shaman figure. I'm really, genuinely happy to have a Shaman figure. He's going to look great in my collection. Thank you, Hasbro. I know that that's something you don't hear a lot on this channel, but thank you. Thank you for including another Native American figure for another Native American character. He can go along with Warpath, Danny Moonstar, and Forge now. So, hey. We've got 4. I'm really happy with how the face sculpt came out, too. The face sculpt with the headband, he looks very well done. So, moving on to our next figure. Now, I know what you all are thinking. Vamp, aren't you supposed to give a rating for these? I am. But I always rate what I unbox as a whole. So, as much as I'd love to be giving ratings to these individual figures, I'm going to only give one big rating for this whole box set. As you can't buy them individually, you can only buy them as this one big set. And it's not going to be cheap. I think this set costs like $110. It's expensive. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's an expensive... It is, look at me, for a Canadian superhero team, this is an expensive set of figures. But if you're a fan of Alpha Flight, if you're a fan of this superhero team, this is a one-stop shop for getting them all together in one place. So, Snowbird, let's get into it. Again, it looks like our exact same female mold that we've had 2 other times in the same box set. Hasbro wouldn't stand out as much if you didn't do 3 characters on the same mold in one set. That's why it's noticeable that Shaman is different than North Star, because they're on completely different body molds. Amazingly, Shaman has the peg in his back for flying, and North Star doesn't. Shaman's not a flyer, and North Star is. Let's not get into that right now. Let's instead get into Snowbird. So, for her neck articulation, she can look down amazingly well, like incredibly well. I'm gonna guess backwards, yeah, she can pretty much just look straight forward. This mane of hair is stopping her from doing anything else. And it actually weighs it down so that she just kind of flops her head back that way. For her shoulder articulation, about a T-pose. Can we get a little bit more? Just a hair? Just a hair. And I mean just a hair better than a T-pose. For her single-jointed elbows, they can go a little bit better than 90 degrees. Not great, but a little bit better. At least she can kind of get her hand to her headdress here, which is, I'm going to be honest with you guys, barely even attached. Fairly certain the psychic butterfly that came with Psylocke is better attached than this. And that's a piece you could take on and remove, or take off and remove. So, she of course has the standard in and out wrist articulation. For her ab swivel, we can go a little bit each way, but not a whole lot. Slight bit forward and a slight bit back. It's pretty much non-existent. For her hip articulation, actually, she's got better hips going for her than Shaman did. So, there's that. It's actually pretty decent. We've got a pretty nice range of movement there. We, of course, have the thigh cuts. For our double-jointed knees, if we can get our cape to cooperate here. Actually, we can go, yeah, all the way back. Can go even further, but she's got a little bit too much muscle here on her calf and on her thigh, but actually it looks pretty good, just as is. For her feet, those rocker ankles can go a disturbing degree out, a painful degree in. a great degree forward. Like, a really great degree forward. And, yeah, she can go pretty much on point back. All in all, she's not bad. The only big gripe that I have with the character, which is actually my gripe that I have with all of these characters, is they've included no accessories for anyone with the exception of her cape, which I won't even count as an accessory. It's just a part of her costume. And Shaman's sash, which is, again, just a part of his costume. It's like saying Vindicator's hair is an accessory. It's not. When your superpower is being able to turn into various animals of the Frosty North, like Snowbird's is, you kind of want to have some of those animal ability pieces. Like, the previous figure of her came with a couple of extra little Arctic animals. It'd be kind of cool to get some of those, because this is the only version we're getting of all of these members of this team. Some of those energy circles for North Star, for Vindicator, some of the mystical power circles for Shaman, some little animals to go along with Snowbird. All of these things would be kind of cool. We got nothing. And our final figure of the box set, which is technically our final figure of our main review here, is also our smallest figure. It's Puck. Now, this might look familiar to some of my viewers. If you are a Marvel Legends fan, you might remember that Puck was actually his own Build-A-Figure. It was a exclusive Build-A-Figure wave to Toys R Us. May they, of course, rest in peace. Much like Hitmonkey was an exclusive Build-A-Figure to Toys R Us. Both their lines were incredibly short. They were like 4 figures per wave. And with these 2 box sets, the Hitmonkey and Deadpool and the Alpha Flight box set, we've gotten remolds of both these figures to take their price from being absolutely ridiculous in the aftermarket to being actually pretty decent. So, alright. I'm glad that we got these figures as redos. So you guys know just how big our Puck figure is. It's back. Why I haven't used it the rest of the day, I don't know. I've completely forgotten about it, as I have in several of my previous reviews. But there's our dimensions for Puck. He's coming in at just under 4 inches tall, and width-wise, his hands have no articulation. They only have a cut. They can only spin around. They can't actually do any kind of movement. Huh. That's interesting to know. That makes him almost as wide as he is tall because of his hands. So, and so that you all know, before we move on to our bonus figures, I will bring our T-square back so that you all can see just what the range looks like on the height of all of Alpha Flight. And I mean all of Alpha Flight, not just our box set, the entirety of Alpha Flight that we have thus far. First things first, though, let's get into the articulation of this guy. So, for our head, that's as far down as Puck is going to look. And he can actually look back pretty much all the way. That's moderately incredible. For our shoulder articulation, we're getting a T-pose out of him. I'll take it. I'll take a T-pose. We do not have any bicep cuts. We only have single-jointed elbows here. Which, yeah, he's only getting 90 degrees. Is 90 degrees that good flex? No, it's not. It is not that good flex. Closest we got was Shaman, and he... Not quite. Not quite. As I said before, we only have wrist cuts here. He doesn't have any kind of actual articulation. It's just a swivel. Speaking of, we have no torso articulation whatsoever. We've got no ab crunch, no ab swivel, no waist cut, nothing. For our hip articulation, though, he can go an alright degree. It's not wonderful, but it's okay. For his knees, they are actually single-jointed knees. That's as good as they're going. My man Puck. That's not enough for you to get it. You won't get out of physical rehab after a knee replacement with that kind of movement. No, no. That range of articulation is not good enough, man. We're going to keep you... No. It's not okay. Need you to work on that. He does have boot cuts, however. No articulation whatsoever for the torso, but boot cuts. It's news to me. For his ankles, we do have rocker ankles. They can go a decent degree in, a fairly painful degree out. A little bit forward. And can go pretty much on point back. All in all, he's got some alright articulation. Am I going to say it's great? No. Am I going to say it's better than the previous figure I have of him? Yes and no. As the previous figure of Puck that was not the Build-A-Figure, which this is just a remold of that Build-A-Figure, the previous figure we got of him had no actual articulation. He was rubbery. He was made of, like, just soft rubber. You could bend him around, but he was soft rubber, so made it so you could flick him and he could do a cartwheel, allegedly. Never really worked, but technically it's got both more and less articulation, so I don't know how you guys want to slice that one. Now then, that completes our entire box set for Alpha Flight. So, let's get into how everybody stacks up against one another. We've already established Puck is, just about 4 inches tall there. We've got Snowbird here, who's coming in at just over 6 inches, about 6.5 with her hair. Shaman, who's coming in pretty much at the exact same height as Snowbird. Vindicator, who's pretty much just a cool 6 inches. North Star, who's just under 6.5. He's just above 6.25, it looks like. Aurora, who is coming in at pretty much the exact same height as her brother, just about 6.25 inches. We've got our Build-A-Figure from the first Deadpool wave of Sasquatch. And Sasquatch here is coming in at... he's 5.5 inches wide and 8.5 inches tall. And of course, as was shown off at the start of the stream, we also, of course, have Guardian. From the very recent, still on the shelves right now, if you're looking to go and grab him, Wendigo wave. And our Guardian figure as just seen recently in a rather recent unboxing for the Wendigo wave. He is coming in. Actually, Sasquatch, I'm going to move you out of the way for right now, just so we can see that Guardian is coming in at about 6.5 inches tall. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, with this box set, trying to see if I can get everybody on screen at once. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your Marvel Legends Alpha Flight team. It's as complete as we've ever seen the team. I'm really impressed. I'm happy that Hasbro finally did this. They gave us, in one shot, they gave us pretty much a complete team, minus 2 members who've already gotten figures. And Sasquatch was a build-to-figure, and he just replaced the Sasquatch figure I had from all those years ago by ToyBiz. The Guardian figure replaced my previous Guardian Marvel Legend from back in the Ares line that I've had for ages. Since back in, I believe he came out in 08 or 09. So that figure was over a decade old. But we've gotten a new one of him. We've gotten a new Sasquatch. I didn't expect us to get the remainder of Alpha Flight. Now, I know there's a couple other members of Alpha Flight that could get figures. Honestly, I'll take this. This is good as a team. I'm fine with this. So, now it is rating time. You've seen the unbox. You've seen the box set. So, what does our 80th anniversary Alpha Flight set get as far as a rating goes? Now, we did get 6 figures out of it. One of them was a build-to-figure who was pretty hard to find the wave of him back in the day. Shaman, this is the first time we've seen a figure of him at all. The others were updates to figures that we've gotten previously, but not as legends, as old ToyBiz figures. The very limited articulation ones. What am I going to rank it? Enough of me chatting about it. What am I actually going to rank this thing? Like I told you guys, it's over $100. It's expensive. It's not a cheap set by any stretch of the words. But it is a complete team. And this figure alone, last time I looked him up, he was going for $50 on his own. For this figure. For the build-to-figure of Puck, he was going for $50. For an extra $50, $60, I got the remainder of the team. It's like paying $10 a figure. Which I'm fairly okay with. Out and out, I'd give this whole set... It's a 6. It's a 6 out of 10 from me. Is it a fantastic set? No. They could really use to update the female molds. They could use to do something along those lines with that. There's a distinct color difference here for Vindicator. You can actually see that her legs are a shiny finish and her torso is a matte finish. It kind of throws you off when looking at it in person. I know in the picture it's not that evident, but they got the finish down really well for Guardian with no problems. They could have done the same thing with Vindicator. No one else has that same problem with there being 2 different finishes, so I really don't know why they decided to do her legs in a different type of plastic than the rest of her when they didn't have that problem with any other figure in the set. We've got some new mold pieces. It's mostly just heads. It's just in the heads that we've really got new molds. This is a straight remold, and then we've got the cape, which is a new mold. Beyond that, it's straight mold reuse for pretty much everyone. The sash is a new mold. The cape is a new mold. The heads are new molds. But that's all. Is it a little bit lazy? Yeah, it's a little bit lazy. Especially for a retailer exclusive. The last retailer exclusive that we reviewed on this very channel was the... and I can actually see him right over here to my left, was the new Mutant set. They're retailer exclusive to Walgreens. Walgreens, of all places. Not Amazon. Walgreens. And you want to buy as many of those figures as possible. You want to build an army of them to get yourself a bunch of New Mutants. And it came with the parts to make 3 different figures. That's already 3 heads, 3 hands, and 1 accessory. Well, 2 accessories if you want to get technical. They were all very unique to just that set. And that was $20. This, we got 5 heads that are new, 2 accessories, and that's it. If you could find this set on sale, if you could find it for cheap, you could find it the way the Sentinel went down in price, the Defender set went down in price. If you could find it on sale, find it for $60. Grab it. For $60, it's a great buy. For $50, definitely grab it. For the 110 it is right now, if you're a big fan of Alpha Flight, if you're like me, who's got an Alpha Flight display but really wanted to update it with newer figures, all in the same size, it's worth the update then. If you're not that big of a fan, if you don't really care about Alpha Flight, I'm not sure what to tell you then. It's a cool set, but I wouldn't go rushing to the gates to grab it. All in all, though, it's fun. It's more of a yes than a no from me. So again, it's going to be a 6 out of 10. If you're a big fan of Alpha Flight, grab it. If you really want to update your display of Alpha Flight from the old figures from back in the day, grab it. If you want to complete your team of Alpha Flight, grab it. If you don't really care and you don't even know who Alpha Flight is, well, yet. They're talking about a movie, so you're probably going to get to know them. If anything, grab it before the movie comes out, because it'll probably be worth a pretty penny when that movie comes out. In the meantime, they're an alright set. Are they great? No. Are they horrible? No. But they're alright. So, that completes our main review of the day. I told you guys it was only going to be 1 unboxing. But, you know, you've been a good audience. You guys have been good today. Have you been well behaved? Santa's watching, you know. But as has been already established, this stream is not for fucking kids. So, I don't care if Santa's watching or not. In the meantime, though, since you've been so well behaved today, you've been good enough to get yourself a bonus figure unboxing. That's right, you deserve it. Give yourselves a round of applause for everybody here. You deserve it. You deserve everything that you're getting right now. So, let's get into our bonus figure unboxing. We'll bring it back, since we focused on our neighbors to the north today, let's bring it back here to America. America! America. America! Fuck yeah! And to Captain America, the First Avenger. Now, this is, of course, an MCU 2-pack box set. They've been doing this a lot with the MCU figures, where they're doing 1 or 2 figures from the movies that we haven't gotten figures of previously. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm excited for pretty much one reason, and it's right here. It's Peggy Carter. I'm really excited about this Peggy Carter figure. I kind of wish that she was going to be the Captain America Peggy Carter as first seen in Marvel Puzzle Quest, but has become part of continuity. She's even been in her own comics. So, that's kind of cool. But, in the meantime, I'll take it. It's the closest to Agent Carter we're getting, so I'll take it for right now. Let's get into what we've got here, though. Of course, we've got our window pane front showing off our 2 figures and all of their accessories. We've got our side art here showing off Chris Evans' Captain America and Haley Atwell's Agent Carter. We've got our blurbs on the back, our movie poster for Captain America the First Avenger, and our 2 little press photos of Cap and Peggy. We will crack out our special opening tool. And inside of the box, first things first, our background is literally nothing at all special. It's a red and white starburst. There's not even like a Captain America shield or anything. I think that's a scheme that they went with for most of the MCU figures. That being said, they also had a thing going on with those figures where you could line them all up and make a big display. This doesn't line up with those sets that we've gotten previously. It doesn't line up at all. So, take that as you will. Inside, of course, we've got 2 figures and a bunch of accessories. We've got a prototype Captain America shield here. Before it got all painted up. It does have the lines in it for the star and for the ridges, but that's all. We have a Thompson machine gun, which, if you think this isn't going to Peggy, you are dead wrong. We've got a boot knife, which I'm pretty sure Steve has a place for on the figure. We have our pistol here, which, again, I actually see a holster here for Steve. We have his original shield with this weird little indent there. I'm not sure if there's a space for it on his back or something. But we've got the original shield, as seen in both the comics and the movie. We have this soft goods motorcycle helmet. It's pretty squishy, but it has the Captain America A underneath the goggles there. A second Chris Evans head. And, of course, our Agent Carter and Captain America Steve Rogers figures. So, as much as I want to review Peggy last, because she's the reason why I bought the set, because I know her articulation is going to be greatly lacking, we're going to review her first. For her neck articulation, she can look down a decent degree, and can actually look up an alright degree. For her shoulder articulation, we're getting better than a T-pose out of her. Alright. It's something. We only, of course, have single-jointed elbows here. And they're alright. It's 90 degrees. It's nothing more than we were expecting. The standard in and out wrist articulation, as seen here. Now, she has very unique articulation for her torso. She doesn't have a standard waist swivel like the others did. Her articulation's actually not up here under the bust. It's here at the waist that she has the articulation. It's a very unique way of doing it. It makes it so that she can bend over actually a pretty decent degree, bend a little ways forward, has a slight amount of that side-to-side movement, but if anything, I think it's actually got a better range of motion. Yeah, look at that. That's a great side-to-side. I think it's got a better range of motion than the other female figures with the ab swivel having this waist swivel here. So, that's kind of unique. It also means that she's got a great turning radius there at her actual waist. Now, she does have leg articulation underneath here. We just can't see it. She does have a thigh cut here, as we can see from the fact that we can twist her leg like so. Not that we can actually see it, because of the pencil skirt here completely blocking off all of our articulation. So that's all of our hip articulation, because it's completely stopped by the skirt. She does have double jointed knees, but because of the skirt, that's as far back as you can get it. At best, you're getting 90 degrees before the skirt interferes. She does have rocker ankles, doesn't she? Yes. She can go a bit in and a bit out, but nothing fantastic here. She can also go, actually, a pretty decent degree forward. And even though she's in heels, she can go pretty much all the way back on point. All in all, she's decent. I'm not going to tell you she's an amazing figure, but she's decent. She's okay. I was really looking forward to this version. Again, if they did her as the Captain America Peggy Carter, I would have been even happier. But I understand they were going for the movie accurate, so I'll take what I can get here. I'm not going to say no to Agent Carter. After all, I think I was one of the 4 people that actually watched the series, so I won't say no to getting an Agent Carter with a Thompson. If I could get her to hold the Thompson submachine gun, it'd be even better, but we'll do that another time and not waste your guys' time here. Next up, though, we do have Captain America. Now, I thought there'd be, because there's a weird indent here, if you guys see that. There's a very weird indent on the shield. I'm not sure exactly what to do with that. So, no clue. We do, though, have the boot knife. Which has a sheath for it right here. And the service pistol, which has a holster for it right here. And thank you, Hasbro, for actually making useful, real, functional holster and sheath for this figure. Good job. For our articulation on our figure, Steve can look a decent degree down, and he can certainly look up with some great hope. For his shoulder articulation, we're getting about a T-pose out of him. He does have the bicep cuts and the double-jointed elbows. Ladies and gentlemen, you know it, you love it, just the way I do. We've got that good flex out of Steven Rogers, Captain America. He's giving it to you the way we want to see it. That's the kind of range of motion we want out of our figures. We want to see that good flex. Thank you, Hasbro. Thank you. He does have the in and out wrist articulation. Not that you can really do much with it because of the flash from the bottom of the sleeves here. Funny enough, we do not have a ab crunch here. We only have an ab swivel on Steve. But it can go a great degree side to side, if that's anything to go by. I mean, that's an amazing side to side on Steve. Can actually go a great deal forward, even if he looks a little bit lumpy going forward like that. And ladies, he can bend over backwards for you. If you're going to do an ab crunch, that's how you do it, Hasbro. Well done. Why aren't our other ab crunches like this? That was really well done. Additionally, he has the hip articulation here. Or the waist cut there for our hip articulation here. Absolute best of the day. Absolute best hip articulation of the day is coming from Steve Rogers. I don't even have words here, Hasbro. We, of course, have the thigh cuts here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I might be. But I believe both of these figures are brand new molds. The star here isn't painted on. That's actually molded in. I think maybe the sleeves are a reuse, but the pouches on the sides of the pants, the way these pants lay, it actually all looks to be a brand new mold. I know the boot knife here, they've used boot knives before, but not in this particular mold. I think maybe the knife itself is a reuse, but the sheath for it isn't. I know the Hulkster isn't a reuse, as if you look very closely here, it actually says that it's for U.S. service members. It just has a big U.S. on it. So that's a unique detail, and it's part of the harness here, which I haven't seen before. Hasbro, you guys put a lot of work into this figure set. Color me impressed. For our double-jointed knees, if we can get them to unlock, that's as far as we're going back. There's too much flesh here, and his calves are just a little bit too thick to get it any further back. We do have boot cuts on him as well, and rocker ankles that can go a decent degree in, an alright degree out, a slight bit forward, and pretty much on point back. All in all, I'm actually really happy with this set. I didn't even notice before, there's actually a rigging system inside of the helmet for the suspension. That's actually kind of neat to see. Since we actually have two heads for Cap as well, let's switch that out, as one has the higher coiffed of hair than the other. I think the faces are actually the same, but this one just has a little bit more poof to the hair, meaning that the helmet fits better on this version than on that one. Which, again, we can readjust this for pictures with you guys, as the helmet sits a little bit weird on him. Alright, with a little bit of doing, you can make it work. But there's our helmeted head for this version of Captain America. Complete with both his original shield as seen here for when he first releases Dum Dum Dugan and the rest of the Howling Commandos. And the version that we see him hold up when Peggy decides to shoot the shield on him. Which I believe is the only time we've gotten this prototype shield. I can talk, I swear I can, in figure form. All in all, it's a fun set. It's a really fun set. I'm actually happier with this set than I was with the previous set from today. And I was looking forward to that other set more. It's great. It's really well done. I love the detail work they did with Captain America. Agent Carter, they could have done something so we can use her leg articulation a little bit more. Again, I personally would have liked it if we'd have gotten the version that we first saw in Marvel Puzzle Quest with her in the actual outfit for Captain America, but I'll take it as is. I'll take it. It's the closest we're getting to an Agent Carter figure, so I'm alright with it. All in all, for this figure set, I'm going to say it's... Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I might be a little bit biased. This set is currently going for $50. I got it on a sale. I got it for, I think, like $30, $35, which was great. It was a great buy. For me, I'm going to give it an 8. It's a fun set. It's well done. I like it. It's an 8. They gave us a bunch of accessories. They gave us a bunch of new molding. And since we've already got it out from Alpha Flight, let's take a look at what we're looking like as far as scale goes. Steve is coming in about 6.5 inches. Yes. I know. And I thank you. For anyone that didn't hear that, that is, of course, my editor, Retro Vixen, letting me know that she's got food. So, that means this is going to be wrapping up pretty quick. I'm going to tell you what, because I'm kind of hungry. Peggy's coming in at... It looks like she's actually just a hair under. And I mean just a hair under 6 inches. It's a great set. I'm really happy with everything they did here. Honestly, I like this young Steve a lot. I like the prototype shield and the fact that it's kind of muddied up. Or his first shield is muddied up. His prototype shield is just unfinished. I like it. I like it a lot. Honestly, if you're an MCU fan, if you're an Agent Carter fan, if you're a Chris Evans fan and want this baby boy Chris Evans face, grab it. If you can find it on sale the way I did, definitely grab it. Well worth the money there. It was worth the money just for Agent Carter for me. Just to kind of round out my MCU figures. But this Steve is a really good figure. I'm actually really happy I went with this version instead of the motorcycle version of Steve Rogers from around the same era. The same era, but it was a comic book version instead of an MCU version. Honestly, I really like how the Chris Evans heads look. So, I'm really good with this set. So, thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been a great day. As for upcoming streams, do I have more figures? Kinda. So I've got most of the Brothor wave. I'm missing one figure. I'm waiting on 2 of them to come in, but they should be in this week. One figure, though, I haven't gotten yet, and I can't get him. He's on pre-order with a certain company that rhymes with a lame hop, and I'm just waiting for him to come in. As soon as he comes in, we have the Brothor wave! Unfortunately, it's Vision, and he has Brothor's body. So I can't do the Build-A-Figure or the wave without Vision. That's going to complicate things. So, will we have an unboxing stream next week? Probably not. Hit me up on my Twitter, though. Let me know. Do you guys want to see me stream next week? What do you want to see? You want to see a gaming video? You want to see some of my old collection? Because God knows I've got enough toys. I can let you guys see collections from here till eternity and pretty much never be finished. I don't want to admit just how many Marvel Legends I have. That's a very high number. It's a very high number. I should not. Anyway. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Make sure that you stop by the Twitter here. It lets you know when things are going live. Make sure that you stop by the Twitch channel. You know, the one you're on right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, yeah, stop by Twitch. We do it live every Sunday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. And, yeah, that link there, goes to the YouTube channel, where these get all memed up by my editor, Retro Vixen, where she makes it really fun and funny. And she cuts out all the nonsense of me just kind of going along, opening up figures. She takes that a lot of the dead air. And I'm grateful for her for that, and her amazing thumbnails. Seriously, go check out that channel now. The thumbnails for the past 3 weeks, I'm not going to lie to you guys, she did those in maybe an hour. Just quicker than a Thanos snap, and she made it happen. They are fantastic looking thumbnails based off of some of the photography I do with my figures. She's an amazing editor and very much appreciated by me and by the whole channel. Thank you, Retro. Thank you for everything you do. In the meantime, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Swing by the channel. Swing by that Twitter, see if we've got an unboxing next week. I'll let you know ahead of time if we do. Swing by the channel here on Twitch if you want to see it live, and if you want to see it all memed up and funny, swing by that YouTube channel. Leave us a like. Heck, leave us a comment. Let people know that this stream is definitely not for children, because fuck COPA and fuck YouTube for your fucking policies. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for everybody. Thank you so much to everybody for stopping in. Thank you so much for your support in our venture here to just look at some cool toys as adult collectors. And don't forget, guys, keep it nerdy.